Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. We're just having some weird problems with Facebook, so we will get started in just a few seconds. Megan's gonna take my spot in front of the camera and actually show you what we're doing. So give us just 1 second and we will get going. Thank you. Is that gonna work for you for setup with the camera?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I can also always hold it for you like we've done previously.
We might need to do a little bit.
And that's totally cool.
Okay. Hey everybody. So if you have not seen the cute little pumpkins that we are making tonight completed, I have one up at the desk, but I do not have one with me right here because I forgot to bring it down. Sorry.
I can always run and get one.
That's all right. If you really want to see it, leave some comments, and if we get enough, we'll go get it. All right, let me find the beginning of my yarn. Here we go. All right, so we're going to start with the orange yarn. So if you want to get out your ball of orange yarn, that's where we will begin. We're going to start with a slip knot, and we'll see if I can do this. I just wrap it around 2 fingers. And then, well, I don't know if I can do it without talking about it. All right, you just make the knot. I don't know if I can show this myself.
Okay, all right. All right, everyone, bear with us. Let me flip the camera around. There we go.
Okay, so to do a slip knot, I just wrap it around 1 time, and then I'm gonna slip my thumb in there in between. I'm gonna tie the knot around my thumb and then tighten it down. So then you have a knot that's knotted around the yarn and can slip bigger and smaller-ish. There you go.
Can we show that one more time? I was shaky with my hands, sorry.
Maybe if I can undo it. I can't undo it, so.
Woo. We can't turn our phone while we're recording. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna go around my fingers and tie it under 1 time normal. I'm gonna stick my thumb through there. And then I'm going to tie it around my thumb. Tie it down just like that and slip it closed. Oops. There you go. Nice little slip knot. And put it onto the needle. And then we're going to cast on. We're going to cast on 20 stitches. Or 40. Hold on, I'll figure it out as I go. So what I do is I pull the yarn over both my index finger and my thumb, and then I go over and under. We're gonna do it again, 40 times. Over and under. Are you getting a good angle on that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
I like the variegation of the yarn color. It's really cool.
So yeah, so you're just gonna do this until you get to 40. It's a long time, but I promise it'll be worth it that we started from here.
I'm gonna set the
That's
iPad
fine.
back down. I
Yep.
need to answer a comment.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh. Oh my gosh, we look like amateurs over here. We're gonna figure it out. Okay.
That's all right. You all love us anyway, right? So just keep going. And go over and under. Slip it on. Over and under. Let's see if I can get a better angle here. You guys like my spider? He's my favorite. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 so far. right, so I've got 40 on. As you can see, it's about 4 inches of loops. And yeah, that variegated is pretty nice already. Who knew? If you're all caught up, give me a like or something that we know you're ready to move on, because I don't want to move on from here without you.
I am trying to get there so I can interact a little.
Oh, I got a like. Thank you. Somebody's ready to move on.
I like your spider necklace,
Thank
Megan.
you.
That's so cool and spooky.
It is my absolute favorite Halloween jewelry.
I love it.
Okay, are we ready?
I think so.
Okay. You're probably gonna have to do
Sure.
the,
All right.
because I have no idea how to make it work. Okay, so this is super exciting, guys. We're gonna learn how to purl. I hope you're excited and not scared. Don't be scared. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is do 2 knit stitches. These are the 2 that you're very used to. You're gonna stick your right-handed needle in behind the needle, under the loop of yarn, come up and around, pull it under and through. Off. Sorry. I'm gathering up my loops here. You may need to too. All right, the next one is a knit again. Behind the needle, under the loop. Whoop, I'm gonna lose it. Whoop, there we go. All right, ta-da, 2 knit stitches. Now a purl is literally everything opposite of that. So you're gonna first bring this yarn around to the front, and then you're going to put your needle in front ways across the front of your other needle and under the loop, of course. Then you're gonna bring your front string under and pull it through. Literally the exact opposite of a knit stitch. So your yarn is already in front still. You're gonna do it again. You're gonna put your needle in front of the other needle, around from the bottom, pull it through and off. All right, now we're gonna do 2 easy ones. Take your yarn back around for a knit, and we're gonna knit 1, knit 2. Okay. Then we're gonna bring our yarn back around to the front and do 2 more purl stitches. You insert your needle through in front of your needle, around under the bottom, and then pull it through. Yeah, this variegated yarn is also great for this, for seeing your motion and where your yarn is going. So you're gonna bring it under the needle and around and through. Okay, then we're gonna do 2 knit stitches. So bring your yarn back around and behind your needle, around the back, just like that. Okay, now we do our 2 purl. In front of the needle. Always remember, for a purl stitch, it's going in the front, and your yarn should be in the front and through. And across the front, around and under, out and over. Ta-da! All right, so you're really making your pattern. You knit 2, bring your yarn around, purl 2. Yarn around, knit 2, knit, yarn around, purl 2. It really is important that you remember to bring the yarn around before you stick your needle in, because you'll come up with a pretty interesting knot if you do it the other way. You're just doing 2 by 2. I am kind of speeding along. 40 stitches is a lot, but this first row is the most important row.
And if you're just tuning in, we apologize. We're having some issues with Facebook tonight, so we weren't able to turn on the normal way of doing this where we would all be in a group chat right now. That's why it's just kind of this weird lecture style from Megan, but don't be afraid. This is actually going to be automatically recorded, and then it will be posted on our Facebook page tonight, so you'll be able to follow along with Megan in the recorded video in just a couple of hours.
We're almost there, see? Yay! All right. And we're about to see if I miscounted. My favorite part of knitting is getting to the end of the second row and finding out you did it wrong. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't lose it. Oh, no.
That's the worst.
It is the worst.
And then it takes so much longer
there.
to get it back on. Okay.
All right. Saved it. Okay, where am I at? 2 knit, 1 purl, purl. Oh, I'm in luck. I did it right, you guys. All right, so I'm gonna knit, knit, and you should end on a purl, purl. If you didn't, I'm sorry. You may want to go back. Like I said, that happens to me all the time, that I get to the end of the second row and I'm like, oh, yep, made a huge mistake there. But you really, really want to end on a purl 2, because that way every row starts with a knit 2. It's going to get a little complicated otherwise. So you can kind of see where the pattern is happening. By the third row, it will be obvious and you will know if you do one wrong. But this first row and then this one we're about to do are kind of tenuous. You can't really tell. You can't really see the pattern yet. So let's go again. We're going to start with knitting just like we did before. You're going to knit 2. So you're going to go in behind. Watch out for your tail. Get him out of the way. There we go. All right, here we go. 2, knit 2. I'm sorry, I just did that automatically. So you did your knit 2. Bring your yarn around to the front for your purl. Put it in front of the needle. Bring it under and around, and then off. Under and around, and then off. Those are your purls. There you go. And then knit. So bring your yarn back around. Sorry guys, this is slippery. Here we go. Knit 2, purl, two, knit 2, purl, 2. So there are 2 ways that I like to do this to make sure that I don't mess up, because I often get distracted. If you don't know, I have 3 littles at home. So doing a pattern like this can be a little tricky. I usually count it like that. The knit 1, knit 2. Or I will often count by 2s so that I know if I'm on the wrong number. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is an even number, so I know I switch. 5, 6 is the even number, so I switch.
Wanda asked, did you start the second row with 2 pearls?
No, I started it with 2 knits.
2 knits, and then followed by the 2 pearls, Wanda.
Yep.
Good question, Wanda.
Very good question. Probably the trickiest part of the 2x2 rib. My needles keep slipping.
You're doing a good job. It can't be easy to knit visibly like that.
It's a little different.
Denise said, it looks like you started with knit 2, but the instructions do say purl 2.
I am extremely sorry. Yes. Knit 2. Every row should start with knit 2.
But the instructions say purl 2.
I must have messed up the instructions. I apologize, everyone.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Wanda, so just switch that around. Do knit 2, purl 2.
Yep.
Really good question.
Yeah.
Thanks for catching that. And Denise, thank you too for catching some of the edits.
Yes. Yeah, I'm still learning to write patterns, so.
But hey, if you're catching stuff like that, that's like awesome.
Yes.
You are very advanced at this moment, compared to me at least.
Almost there. I'm on my last set of knit. And then purl. All right. Ta-da! All right, so this is the 2x2 rib. Again, in the first 2 rows, you don't really see your pattern yet, but you are beginning to make out the difference between the stitches. I hope you can kind of see. Here you can see that there are 2 pearls, and then these look more like the V's, so they're knits. 2 pearls, 2 knits. So hopefully yours is looking like this at this point. Then, do you guys want to do one more row together, or would you like to move on to the stem?
It'll take a moment for them to respond. Feel free to throw your preference in the comments if you haven't commented in the chat box yet. And like I said, I apologize. We'll have it up and running next time so that we're all just chatting with each other by video.
I'll go ahead and start a 3rd row while you guys are either finishing the last row or...
We have confusion, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's start the 3rd row. We're going to start with knit again. Every row should start with knit. I sincerely apologize for the pattern.
Adriana, if you want to type in any info about why you're confused, or if you just want to keep watching and rewatch the video later, that would be okay too. Sorry, Megan.
No, that's okay. All right, so we're going to start with knit. Go under, round, off, under and behind, around, off. I'm going to bring my yarn around to the front, and then I'm going to stick my needle in the front of the next loop, come around and under, then through and off. And the same, put it under and in front, bring your yarn around and off. Okay, I just put my yarn back in the back for 2 more knits. Knit, and knit. Okay. Bring your yarn around for the pearls, through and in front, this point you can kind of see that there are purls and knits too. You can see the purl stitches right there up against the needle. You're going to stick your needle in the front and in front of the other needle, under and around, and take your yarn back to the back for a knit stitch. So you can see how that one's nice and open. There is no stitch right there in front of the needle. That's the difference between a knit and a purl. The purls are right up against the needle. The knit stitches are a little more open. I'm going to go in to the front loop behind the needle, wrap it around from behind, pull it through.
Good job, Adriana. If you just finished the first 40 stitches,
yes,
you're not that far behind. You just have to do 2 more rows to be where we are. Megan is working on her 3rd row of 40 stitches right now.
Yeah.
So you're doing awesome.
And I believe she's helping little ones too, so.
And if you didn't hear me say this the first time, this will be recorded and posted on Facebook. We promise. We're not just saying it. It's going to be there this evening for everyone if you want to go back and follow along. It's making me so calm and sleepy to watch you do this. It's so relaxing.
Well, I hate to talk more than is necessary because I know they just want to see what's happening. And of course, if you guys are using size 6 needles, yours will be slightly smaller. If you're using size 8, they may be slightly larger, but it shouldn't make a world of difference, just enough.
I need to sit down to answer some questions that have come in.
Go for it, yeah. I have a hair. I'm trying to pull this hair out of my yarn. It's my hair, of course. I need to be up here. All right, there you are. There are 3 rows. Like I said, you're really beginning to see the pattern now. So you have knits and purls and knits and purls. So then as you go back, so for each row now, you'll be able to see, like, if you did a purl instead of a knit, or if you did a knit instead of a purl. It'll be more obvious this time because you're really beginning to see that pattern. So you're going to do this until you have 20 rows. And the real trick on this is that you are not going to bind off. We're going to do a second segment on Friday. I don't know if we'll just maybe post a video or if that one will actually be like a chat room like we keep talking about. But that's the goal, is to do another one on Friday on how to actually put these together. So that gives you 4 days to do your next 17 rows, and then leave it on the needle and we'll take it off together. It should be fairly simple. You just use a sewing needle. If you didn't get one in your kit, some people got one in their kit. Huge shout out to Larissa. She donated those little blue needles. If you don't have one, stop by the library and we'll hook you up. Just let us know. So next we're going to do the stems. And I was just going to take this and push it down to make some room on my needle. Because these are like 2 inches wide. Not huge, so they're not gonna need a lot of needle, and I hate for you to lose what progress you have made. So we are going to switch to green. You all have just a tiny bit of green. I don't remember exactly what I wrote on the paper, but I worked one up just the other day and I only needed like 6 inches at the end. So you can knit up until you have 6 inches left and then bind off your stem. So go ahead and switch to your green yarn. Let's see if I can find an end to my green yarn here.
And let me know when you're ready to start.
No problem. There it is. Haha, found it. Good luck, everybody. No, yours is easier. All right, we're gonna do another slip knot. Like I said, you wrap it around 2 fingers and you tie it. So you have one little tie. And then I stick my thumb in between and I tie the rest of the knot around my thumb. Doesn't really matter how long this is, you're gonna tuck it down in the pumpkin. So you can make it nice and little if you want. Not have to worry about it. Okay, so like I said, I'm just putting it on my already working needle so you don't lose any of your progress. We're gonna cast on. I'll let you do your thing. You guys might like this angle better. So don't mind my orange yarn, just watch the green yarn. Taking it between my index finger and my thumb again. We're gonna go over and under. Over and under. Over and under. Over and under. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so that one's maybe an inch, but as you go, it will get wider. And then this one is all in garter stitch. So if you did the washcloths with us, that was garter stitch. You're going to knit every stitch. So I'm going to go in with my second needle, behind and under the loop. So I'm under the loop and behind the needle. Bring it around and pull it through. And take your needle, insert it behind, bring it around and through. Insert the needle. There you go. Insert your needle behind, bring it around, and pull it through. Insert your needle behind and under the loop, around and through. Oop. Don't do that. All right. All right, so that's your first one. All right, for the next one, easy peasy, you're just gonna knit again. So, this is what it should look like now. Not that it's super defining. Okay, and you're just gonna knit across again. So I'm going in behind, just like before, around and out. in behind, around, and out. And again, be sure you're not pulling your yarn too tight. If you pull your yarn super tight, it gets harder and harder to do this. You got to give it just a little bit of leeway where it kind of slides through your fingers like that. Okay, so the garter stitch is so much easier. I wouldn't blame any of you if you finished your stem tonight. But the stem you are going to bind off. You bind off the stem and then you sew it all up. You can save the sewing definitely for Friday when we put it together. If you want to leave the binding for Friday, we can walk through that together too, because it's only 10 stitches, it shouldn't take long. So that's where we're at for tonight. You have begun.
Woo. I'm gonna turn it back around so that if anybody has questions, I guess.
Does anybody have some closing questions?
So Adriana asked, and I haven't responded to her yet, how did she do the other rows? So I just want to make sure that I'm remembering correctly. They were exact copies of the first row.
Yes.
Which starts knit 2, purl
Yes.
2.
Yes.
Okay.
And I do apologize for the written pattern. I wrote that myself. I'm not very good at it. You're welcome, Wanda. Yes, Denise, you don't have to use all of it. If you feel like it's getting too long and your stem might be too fat, you can cut it off. But I would suggest using most of it down to the last 6 inches. Yep, that's typed correctly. Knit 2, purl 2, repeat. You're welcome.
And I guess it's up to you how and when we transition over to crochet, since Mom's here. We might get started.
Yeah, Cheryl's here. So if you guys signed up for the crochet, get out your crochet hooks. It's about that time. And hopefully some more people will join you. Let's see. Yeah, because crochet had a big group sign up. So hopefully it'll be, people will come.
Maybe we better wait a bit.
Yeah, I guess we will.
What time is it?
7. It's 6:40.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little early.
If you're ready to be off camera, I can remove that for now.
Does anyone have any more questions?
We're just going to be letting our staff members take a break, but we're not going to actually close the chat room. So you can continue to share questions while we're off screen if you want, or chat to each other if you feel like it.
The first stitch after turning is a knit. Yes. I don't see you, Denise. This is just a Facebook Live video instead of a group. Usually we do a group. We do a room on Facebook, but it wasn't working tonight, so we just went this direction to keep it on schedule.
And it's not your fault, Denise, it's ours. So we probably would see you if everything was working correctly.
Yeah, Benita, write down on your paper, just cross out row 2. I wish I had it in front of me. Just cross that out and write knit 2, purl 2. Because yes, every row should start with a knit. Should start with 2 knits.
Is it helpful if I run upstairs and grab that?
Yeah, we could. I think most of these people are sticking around for crochet.
And I'll pick up the crochet as well.
Okay.
Did you get a nice group?
Yeah, we had a great time.
Good.
So, We started both.
What did you say? What are you doing?
The pumpkin and the stem.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I can show them how to start both of them.
You're doing the stem crochet or knit.
Yes.
I did.
Yes, I
but
love that.
cinnamon sticks are really expensive. I mean, you know, I bought this last year, so it's not like, but I'm down to like one nub that's actually, because they would break and crack but twigs do, you know, just as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I didn't think to bring the glue gun, but I don't think that's going to matter.
Shelby has some upstairs.
Does she?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I think she has one here. She was really enjoying this.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she really was.
Shelby's not here, so I'm going to show this off for her. She made her finger knit scarf. Isn't that beautiful? Shelby did that. She's very proud of herself, but I don't think she would have shown you. So.
She liked that. She's been working on that, and then jumped to some macrame.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like macrame.
What are you going to do for December, do you know?
I don't. I had someone share with me a crochet snowflake.
Oh, yeah. I've got a pattern I saw recently that was really, I mean, I've done the snowflakes and stuff. This one, it just really caught my eye. It was kind of a layered, little bit of a layered, but it was, it's very beautiful, and I thought I'd make a couple.
Yeah. Oh, Carolyn, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, and feel free, if you're in our Facebook group, YarnWorks, you can always send questions there. You could even post a video of yourself if you're having like an issue and you're like, I don't even know what's happening. You could take a picture or a video and post it in our group. It's totally private. It's only the people who are in there who can see it. So. And of course, if you have a question, someone else might have the same question. So it's always worth asking. Ah, thank you. Instructions. All right, so yes.
That's what it looks like.
So row 1, knit 2 stitches, purl 2 stitches, repeat to end of row.
Nice. Are you going to get...
Row 2.
Oh, this is...
Knit 2, purl 2. Yep.
Nice.
So basically ignore row 3 and 4 because they're all going to be exactly the same. That's it. That's all I've got.
Cool.
Nice.
All right, guys, we're just gonna take a quick rest from being on screen. We will join you back here at 7 o'clock sharp in about 15. It will probably be a few minutes early, but just around 7 o'clock. So take a little break, stretch your hands out.
I'm sorry. We were talking about, do you know what you're going to do for December?
Nope. Oh, yeah, because I mentioned the crochet.
Snowflakes. Yeah. I'm going to try to encourage them to make squares. Make rectangles, because there's so many different things. I think I counted 8 different things we can do with a square instead, you know, from these pumpkins you go on to snowmen,
Right.
which is just, you know, stacking a couple of pumpkins on top of each other and doing embellishments. But then pot holders, they can either sew them up or single crochet them or slip stitch them. But there's a pot holder pattern that's just single crochet. The only thing is, you're going to work on both sides of the foundation chain and then just keep going. And the way it folds is a double thick. Have you seen one of those?
I think I have.
It's double thick hot pad holder. I like that pattern. So I think that'll throw them off. It's too little early because I need to get them. I want to have examples next time of a little square same amount of rows and stitches, the difference between what a single crochet, a half double, a double, and then a triple, how differently in size. And if they'll just practice making squares, rectangles, you know, then they'll go into stars and things from there.
Did you really? Oh, thank you.
But there's a garbage bag holder, which, you know, is just one of these. Sew it up, you know, like this, and then elastic here and elastic there, and boom, you have that. Let's see, there are tree ornaments, or it's a little cone you make, that's really cute. Angels can be made with, you know, squares that are folded over, and I've done, but there are so many things, and I thought I would have examples of each of those things. And once, if they'll just keep hammering, making squares, and it won't take very long to show them what to do with the square, you know, so it just kind of like grow out of what we're doing to go on. But I do want to show them a slip stitch, a single, a double, single, half double, double, and triple. You know, they need to start learning the stitches.
Yep. I wonder if you could do a simple granny square.
That's what really, you know, what nowadays people call any square a granny square for some reason, and you know that's not the traditional granny square, but that's what I learned.
Yes.
But you're learning, you know, at that point you've got to pick up on turning. Well, I turn. I never go. Well, it depends on the pattern, but most of the time I turn that way you don't have a right and the wrong side, you know, it mixes it up. And it doesn't curve. But, yeah, I'd like to show them in granny square, but I think they really need to, they practice and get their muscle memory going with, you know, the stitches. Then at least they won't have that to worry about in addition to, you know, making the skips and the corners, and it's really not difficult. I'm just worried about, but now this tonight they can't go back and rewatch it.
Yes, they can.
They can, good, because if they can do that, then you know we can take them a little quicker.
That's a good idea.
What's that?
It works so well.
That's perfect.
It works really, really good.
Oh my goodness, yes. What a great idea.
I've been working on nativity crochet along. Oh, it's so cute. This nativity is just, I mean, it's just, I've always wanted one. I've always wanted a little nativity, but these are incredible. This is my Mary and Joseph, and that's, aren't those cute?
Those are cute.
I love this designer. She did such a good job. The way they're designed it's really nice.
Oh my goodness, they're cute.
But I made Mary a different head covering, and well, that was one.
Oh, that's pretty.
And then the scarf was the second one. But hers, the pattern is more like his, but it doesn't have. It just has the blue, no band, and it's just kind of, you know, almost cone shaped at the top, and I didn't care for it much. But their group is actually on the first Wise Man.
Oh wow!
So I'm the baby and the manger behind, so I've got to get that done. And this week is the first Wise Man. But the little camels and donkey are so cute.
But you have to sew all that together, don't you?
That she designed the body to here is one piece.
Oh wow!
So then you just make the head in the arm. So it's not as much as, you know, you think every piece. I've actually got a pattern for a doll, a small doll like that is literally in one, they did it in one piece, except one arm. I can't remember, I did one too, and I can't remember.
Is that because of the stuffing?
I can't remember why that second arm is not included.
Because that's why I don't do them.
Yeah,
Because I don't like to sew.
pain in the fanny, but they have a lot of the ones, I've seen it, not a lot, but I've seen several that have like the legs and waist, like to the waist are one piece, you know, they're not separated, and I like that. Oh, I like your.
Thank you. This is my husband's great aunt.
Is that actually what it is?
I have no idea. I have no idea, but that's how it came to me.
It's perfectly for it.
I'm missing a needle.
Do you not use wooden ones?
No, not usually.
No?
But I was going to switch to wooden because I'm having a terrible time with them slipping off. Which I also don't usually have that problem.
Do you know wooden are recommended for people with arthritis?
I believe that, yes.
Warmth, or, you know, the wood kind of warms. And Shelby, am I right? All I am gonna do is, am I gonna start one from chaining, or am I going to where I?
We need to, like, you're teaching people, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I thought you said I could, or I would, I don't, what do you think?
I started from the very beginning.
Tonight?
And then we're gonna do another one on Friday, that's putting it together. Give them time to hit up there.
Okay.
So it's up to you if you wanna do that, or if you wanna do it the other way.
So am I gonna be seeing a lot of people who weren't here last? No, I mean, will there be a lot of
I
people?
can't tell you, I don't know, we don't know who's there, we're not seeing people tonight, we must.
If we're, you know, have people who weren't.
I'm sure we have people, you have to assume every time, always, that we have people watching that did not join you last
Okay.
time.
They can respond to you though?
They can leave little comments for us,
Okay.
they're not gonna be able to talk to us.
Okay,
Which causes a delay, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So like if someone's having a problem on the third row, I don't know until I'm on my fifth row.
yeah.
That's unfortunate.
And I can't think of why that occurred tonight, like, I really can't, I'm hoping it was just like a weird glitch.
See, this is good as need to be, isn't it? I'm just sitting there.
Are you working on any projects at your house right now?
I'm stuck. I am stuck. I have been stuck since March. No, since May.
On one thing?
A friend of mine posted on my Facebook page these beautiful shawls, pocket shawls.
Mhm.
And immediately, like 5 people said, how much would it cost for you to make us one? Well, since my husband just lost his job, I said, well,
Oh, wow.
I'll do it because it's worth it. I just started shawl number 22.
Oh, geez.
Oh.
I have 4 to go.
My goodness, aren't you just about sick to death? of
Oh, I can't even begin.
it? Same pattern on all of them?
Same one.
Ew.
I do switch it up though. I'll switch, which this is just geeky yarn talk, but I do switch my needles, which means I have to switch my initial count, my initial chain.
Mhm, mhm.
And so that switches it up for me just enough.
And, oh, wow.
But I bet you were able to make like a good amount on those with what people
A
will pay.
large amount of
Yeah,
money,
good.
yes.
What do they sell for?
I did the first 20 for $30 each, and
You're not charging enough.
I wasn't, no. And then, so when I posted that I could do 6 more before Christmas, I said, but they're gonna be $60.
Yep.
I I said, first of all, I have 20 under my belt now, so they're pretty good. And they're worth it. And they take me a week.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually only 10 hours, but in toddler time,
Sure,
that's a
sure.
week.
Are they knitted or crocheted?
Crochet.
They are. Oh, are they? Do you have do you know the pattern name offhand?
I don't. I had to buy it. I bought it on Etsy.
Yeah, there are. I've made 3 that I've given as gifts.
Okay.
Don't they have some absolutely gorgeous patterns?
Yes. And these they even have fringe.
Yeah, yeah.
And they still do.
I don't think so.
As Time Goes By is one that I absolutely adore the pattern. And I made one for my cousin who's fighting cancer. Do you know that I never heard anything from her? And I don't want to sound like
No.
I had to have a thank you, but I thought
Someone hand makes you something.
it would make me so happy just to have a picture, a picture of her.
Right.
But do you know that 99%, the only reason I'm not saying 100 is because maybe I never, ever had anybody send me a picture in the baby calves or
You haven't?
never.
Oh
never
my
had anybody.
goodness.
I gave one of the girls at work, her first grandchild, a pair of booties I just love. They're so beautiful. And let's see, a pinafore and booties,
Oh,
hat.
oh my god.
Nothing. And I even told her, I said, I'd really love to see the baby in
Yes.
a picture. One, my boss, her youngest daughter's baby, I made her a hat and a blanket and the whole 9 yards, nothing.
That's astonishing to me.
You know, those shawls are, I don't know where you're finding people that, I can't even say, hey, you like, no, don't like, I mean, I don't even ask people anymore because I would, there's so many patterns where they go, I'd love to make that. But I don't know anybody that will like take one.
Huh.
Even just take it, not.
Okay, Mom, it's about time you're ready.
Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay, I think I'll start from the beginning, but I'll move pretty quickly and let them know that,
Are you gonna, I'll just do what I do, maybe I have a cord over your shoulder.
what.
I think the thing I want to do most is make one of those knobbly pumpkins. I'm hoping I have enough yarn left over to do a knobbly pumpkin.
Do you need,
No, I think I want to use this because I think it'll look really neat in that yarn.
it will.
But yeah, and time.
I did send you the pattern, right?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
No, you're very welcome. But if you think you need some orange
Oh no, I'll let you know.
or,
I shouldn't. Gosh, I was just given another.
Hey, Larissa, glad you made it. Oh, we've got a whole bunch of people in the chat. Okay,
what
yay.
yarn are you using for your shawls?
Heartland, Lion Brand Heartland.
I
Isn't
have-
that gorgeous?
yes.
They're every time someone picks a color, I'm like, I
Hey,
like
so
every-
welcome everyone. I believe it's just about 7, so we are gonna dive into our crochet portion of the evening's program. If you're just now tuning in, just FYI, I apologize. I told the group this already earlier, but we're having some weird issues with Facebook. And so this was supposed to be like a group chat, like Zoom, where we would be able to see each other's faces and talk, but it just wasn't happening tonight. So that's why we've got like the chat box thing happening down below. I apologize. I know that's not super convenient for if you're crocheting and knitting, but if you do type in your comments, we are seeing them and answering questions and having conversations that way. So, oh, and of course, another thing I forgot to say is because we're doing it in this format tonight, this will be recorded and available for you to watch this evening on our Facebook page and on our website by tomorrow. So if you get lost at all while you're following along with the pattern, no worries, you will be able to go back and pause and follow along at your own pace later on. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into the crochet portion.
I'll show you when we're done. Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have one of the examples down here, do we? No, we don't bring any examples. In case you haven't seen it yet, that is a picture. Oh, no worries. Or if you feel like it, doesn't matter. But that is a picture of what our crochet pumpkin is gonna look like. Of course, that was our knit pumpkin from earlier. So you can see there are two different types, two different kinds of texture going on. But here we go. My mom, Cheryl Hoover, is leading our crochet portion. And like I said, please just feel free to chat, share your comments, your questions, whatever you need to do as we go. And we're gonna get started.
Hi, everyone.
Oh no, hold on, I'm figuring out the camera. Okay, all right, there we go.
Hello, everyone. So I don't know how many people were not at last month's with doing the squares. So I'll start one and I'll just make like a 10 stitch across so that I can do it fairly quickly, and then we'll move on to how to take that square or rectangle and get yourself a pumpkin out of it. One thing I do want to mention pretty quickly before we start is I'm going to really be encouraging people to practice, because that's how you build muscle memory. And there are so many things that you can do with squares or rectangles, either one. And if between now and December, if you'll make squares and just have them, then I can show you 5 or 6 different things that you can do and make with those squares. I don't think we've decided on the December project yet, but in addition to that, if you'll practice, I promise we can do lots of stuff. But I wanted to talk just briefly about a couple of different types of yarn. Oh, of course, there's wool, and that's not, I don't use it very often, like never. But acrylic is probably the most popular use, and both of these are acrylic. They can be washed and dried. They wear forever. This is Michael's brand, and I really like the Impeccable. I also like Walmart's brand. They don't have a lot of colors, but it's soft and it's comparable to Red Heart, and I really like it. I think this was just a little over $2, and on sale you can get these for actually $1.99, but you have to buy like 12 to get that cost. That's acrylic, and then you have cotton. And these peaches and cream and sugar and cream, those are you'll find, let's see, peaches and cream at Walmart, and sugar and cream, I believe I got these at Joann's, but they sell it everywhere. They have cones of them. Dishcloths and pot holders. If you would want to make squares, and then we'll put them into pot holders, which isn't difficult, you always want to make sure you use cotton, 100% cotton, for anything that's going to be around heat. Acrylic will melt and burn, and cotton, of course, will burn, but it's not going to melt on you, and it will protect your hands much better than acrylic. So I think the kits had
Acrylic.
Both. I think we had some sugar and cream in the, maybe not for the pumpkins, but last month I think we had some sugar and cream. So this square is made with acrylic, and this square is made with cotton. I don't know if you can really see the difference, but they definitely cotton.
They feel very different when you're touching them.
They even feel very different. So we'll start with the pumpkins. This is ready to actually make the pumpkin, but I'll start one and then we'll go a couple of couple of rows, and I'm just gonna do 10 stitches across. Your pattern has you chaining 25. So you wanna leave a long tail, and I forget sometimes to start with the long tail. I did on one end, and the other I got kind of chintzy, so it's not an emergency. We can add the yarn in to do it.
And if you don't have the pattern, no worries. We will get that posted as well tonight so that you'll be able to actually follow along with a written pattern.
Absolutely. So it says chain 25 and leave a long tail. So, but I'm going to chain 10. You form a slip knot in any way that you want to form a slip knot.
Slower, Mom.
I'm going to go slow.
Yeah.
I'm going to go slow. This is how I do it, but I've seen it done so many ways. I put the hook under, and I twist the hook around. I hold that little loop there, pull that through, and just slip knot. Another way is just with your fingers, just do the...
That's how I do it.
You just form a circle around and put yourself a little loop through there, pull it tight, and there you have a slip knot. So you make a slip knot. And chain, there's one. So I'm using the hook, and I'm hooking that yarn and pulling it over. This is called yarn over, what I'm doing right now, and then that's a chain. Yarn over and chain. Yarn over and chain, and you just keep doing that. As many as you like. Now this pattern says 25. But if you want a bigger pumpkin, keep going. If you want a smaller pumpkin, stop early. If you want a taller pumpkin, make more rows. And if you want a fatter pumpkin, chain more. So you can, this is not set in stone. You can make your pumpkin any size you like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are my 10 stitches. We're pretending this is 25. Okay, it says to chain 2 and turn, which I already turned, excuse me, and we're going to single crochet in each chain across, in each single crochet. So I chained these 2 just now, so that's not one of the originals. So I go into the loop into the center of that loop, yarn over, pull the yarn up where the 2 pieces are equal, the 2 loops are equal, yarn over and pull through both. That's a single crochet. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull the loop up, yarn over, pull it through, another single crochet. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through. Pull your loop up where they're about equal. Yarn over and pull through. These are, like I said, single crochets. One of the things that really I think stump people in the beginning is you tend to get your stitches too tight. And then it's really hard to get the needle in there. And, you know, you're going to be awkward until you have practiced a lot. You're going to feel awkward. But I promise you, if you keep going, if you really want to crochet or knit, or really any kind of craft, if you just keep going and don't give up, you'll get there. You'll be comfortable and you'll love it. It's very relaxing. I think stress helps with stress. And it's such a joy to make something and give it away. Yarn over, pull through both loops. Insert your hook. Yarn over, pull through, pull your loop up. Yarn over and pull through both loops. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops.
Oh, hey, Jessica, thanks for joining in. We have more people joining. That's good.
Yarn over, excuse me, I just kind of jumped ahead of myself. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops on your hook. Single crochet. That's all you're going to do for the duration of, of your square. It's just over and over. And I'm going to do this one more, and then we're going to get busy using our stitch markers like we should have already been doing.
Monica put on a comment that she needs so much help laughing emoji.
Who?
Monica. She's one of our coworkers. Monica, come up to the reference desk any day. We'll help you out. Sorry, Mom.
Okay. I should have brought more stitch markers, but I'm going to steal them from this in progress. Okay. A newer crocheter, and I still use stitch markers, not maybe on ends and so much anymore, but until you begin to recognize for sure, where's your last stitch? Where's the last stitch you're going into here? You know, is it this? Or is it here? Where is your last stitch? If you use stitch markers or a bobby pin, a different color piece of thread, anything, and when you make your first stitch, put a marker in it. And then when you complete your last stitch, put a marker in it. I'm not going to fasten it because and then you're going to save yourself hours of aggravation, because your piece may start going like this or like this, because it's confusing. It sometimes can be very confusing where to start and stop. So we're at the end of the first row, and what the pattern says to repeat row 2 from rows 3 to 25, repeat row 2. So row 2 says chain 2 and turn. Okay, now I know where my first stitch is. Look, see, knowing where that stitch is can sometimes be a little bit confusing. I know where the stitch is because my marker's there. And by now I recognize it, but you insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and you've got your first stitch. Move your stitch marker into it right away, because look what you've got there. Do you know for sure where to go?
Yeah.
Put your marker there.
That's something I've been struggling with the finger knitting, my scarves.
They're
really pulled out because I'm searching with my fingers.
Yeah, if you put a marker there, you really literally will save yourself forever. I think the toughest row is the beginning row, because you only have the little loops to go in. Now we have a little bit of something to hang on, and it gets easier. See the V at the top? See the little V's? Those are the top of the stitch. You go, and you can see here there's an opening under each of those V's. A little tough to see sometimes, but you go into those. In that center, you'll have the little V on top. Yarn over and pull up a loop.
So you have a question. Denise was asking, so you chain 2 and crochet single in first stitch?
Correct.
Yes, Denise, apparently that's correct.
Correct. Those chain 2 do not count as anything other than helping you turn and get your...
Like a new row started?
It helps you get the height you need to start that first stitch. Mm-hmm. If we were doing other stitches, like a double, half double, or a double, or a triple crochet, you chain more to get your height so that the first stitch is not like down here, you know, because it was too close.
She said thank you. Also, you got a comment. Larissa said thank you for the idea of putting a stitch marker in, because that was one of the things that frustrated her about crocheting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That in the work being too tight to get your hook in there. So I'm hoping you guys can see kind of the openings there, the hole in the center, the top two, the V, and then you just go under that V. Pull up a loop. I thought if I am just quiet for a minute, maybe
Yeah, Megan stayed quiet for long stretches of her tutorial.
maybe they'll be able to concentrate on what they're doing instead of what I'm saying. I use both hands to hold on to material. It makes it a lot easier. Not everyone who crochets does anything, you know, no two of us do anything exactly the same, except the stitches are made the same way. Not holding the yarn, not holding it in this hand. There's no right or wrong. But I'm hoping you're able to see where I'm going into with those, with that. See, the V's are up there, and the V always is separated somewhat, and that gives you your opening. The last one, if I didn't have the stitch marker there, that's not too bad. Trust.
You could miss it. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Especially someone who doesn't have as much experience, that this stitch may be a little smaller and it would be hard to know which one. So that's row 2. We'll do another row, and then we'll switch to one that's finished, ready to make the pumpkin. Okay, we're at the end, and what it says is to chain 2 and turn. There's that first stitch, and if I put a marker in there right after I make this, then I don't have to think about where it is. Okay. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. That's a single crochet.
You can probably do it at regular speed now. You can probably do it at regular speed now if you want, and
Okay.
they will be able to pause this later.
Okay. Don't expect your stitches to look perfect in the beginning, but if you've made yourself 4 or 5 squares, when we come back next month, you're going to be a lot closer to being very comfortable. Okay. I'm going to pull up a loop. I always, when I finish, and I'm going to put my work down, I should have brought more stitch markers, because I would have left the stitch marker there and used this one. But in the last stitch I've done, if you put a stitch marker, that'll help when you put your work down. Children and pets sometimes like to drag your work off somewhere. Let's see. Now, we've got a square that's completed, so we'll work with it. And let's see, I think that orange yarn is going to show up a little better if I have to put another piece of yarn in there. Let's see what the instructions tell us to do.
We're gonna strap cameras to your foreheads in the future.
Yeah. Excuse me, I need to just get a
Okay.
drink. My mouth's dry.
Actually, my husband, who watches a lot of YouTube, says that he watches a guy who has one that's on a tripod.
Yeah.
So like here, and
Yes.
his hands are working under it.
Exactly. the blogs, the crochet blogs, they use those.
Well, and the library did buy a GoPro, so we really might strap it to your head and have you film yourself.
A GoPro, is that the camera to do this kind of stuff?
That's the one where you wear your camera, basically.
Wow. Okay, it says to fold your square in half, and using one end of the long tails, you sew the two sides together, forming a tube. And really, this square is pretty darn square, so it doesn't matter which way you're going to go. And you can sew it. You could actually crochet it together, but we're just going to sew. This piece is not long enough, and you know what? I forgot to bring my needle.
I have one.
Good. Thank you. Oh, you know what? There's one in that kit too.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
Mine are pink, sorry.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. I can't believe I forgot. This one is not long enough, so I'm just gonna kind of lay that down in there, and I can sew it in later, but for right now, I'm just gonna cut myself a piece. I'm coming back here to start because I'm gonna bury that end in there instead of making that was pretty silly. Instead of making a knot, which, I mean, that doesn't hurt anything, but some things you don't want any knots in your work. This, it doesn't matter because it's gonna be on the inside, but I won't. So when you're burying an end, you want to go back and forth a couple of times, and then with washing and use, whatever you're making won't, the ends won't come unraveled. I really never had a lot of ends come loose on me. Although when I first learned the magic circle. Have you heard of the magic circle to start?
Oh,
it's an adjustable circle.
Oh, yes.
For when you're crocheting in the round, that way you can pull it really tight. Well, I did it, but you know, you're always going to have an end, and I didn't realize you had to bury that end. And I didn't, and I washed the Afghan that I made in about a third of the squares, because it had these circles. It was called Circle in a Square, and I had, I don't know, probably 42 squares or something.
And so she's just folded that square in half, like we said,
I'm sorry.
In the pattern. Mom, it's fine. And then she's just taking that needle and starting to sew
I'm
the
just
sides
gonna
together.
whip stitch it together. Am I thinking? That's right. Yeah, it can be whip stitch.
Doesn't matter. You're going to turn it inside out.
Doesn't have to be a blanket stitch or anything.
And it's just forming a tube. The left and the right ends, from our perspective right now, are open. So. And
I kind of like that this is a contrasting yarn. You'll be able to see when I do turn it inside out. You won't see much. You don't want to pull it so tight that it kind of puckers the material, but you want it, you know, where it's not going to be gaping open either. And I believe this is called a whip stitch.
Yep, which means it goes in the same side every time. She's just going around and around.
Yeah, round and around. The my long end is going to be on the wrong end, but we'll fix that. We'll figure that out. No problem. A lot of crochet is very forgiving. I don't think knit is quite as forgiving, is it? is everyone in the watching our complete beginners, or do we have some who have some experience?
So far, I've seen people pretty beginner. Everyone who's no, a lot of people with experience. Sorry.
Good,
But
that's good. Would there be anyone who came to one of our classes before COVID?
yes, you have
shut
a lot
it?
of people in here tonight that were in your classes. before.
Excellent,
You got
excellent.
Larissa, Denise, Monica wasn't there before, but hey, Monica.
Hi, everybody.
Alicia's watching.
Wish I could see you.
Carolyn Lombardo. Bonita's here. Yeah, you got your whole crew, really.
Excellent. Okay. And
Larissa's been knitting for 10 years.
oh yeah, Larissa, she's
Larissa.
experienced. Larissa got a lot of experience.
How long has she been crocheting? I actually am surprised she's here.
Larissa, I don't know if you could hear that. Tell us how long you've been crocheting in the comments.
I'm not seeing the comments on here.
Okay, now
I think they're just
turning my tube inside out. See, if that was the same color, you wouldn't see it at all. You wouldn't even know they're there.
1 year she's been crocheting.
Okay.
Larissa?
Yeah.
So she's more of a knitter.
Yes, by far.
Okay,
That's
Hold
good.
this for just 1 second, like right here. Just
Sure.
hold it up for a second.
sure. What are you gonna do?
I just need to
Do you want me
Oh,
to
your
do it?
hands.
Let's do it.
Oh, no,
Okay.
it's okay, Megan. Here, I just wanted to get the comments back up for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
When you hold an iPad like this for a couple of hours, you really start to cramp.
so
I bet.
if everybody can see that, it's not perfectly beautiful, but it's gonna work fine. Okay, then you take the other end of the long yarn. Actually, this may be long enough to do both ends.
Yeah, Larissa said she gave up crocheting because the sides were always wonky. But that's speaking to the stitch marker. Maybe that'll help you out.
Yay.
Yeah. Okay, now we want to gather both ends, and we're just in and out.
And you're not pulling that very taut. to
Not
start.
yet.
Yeah, we will at the end.
Yeah, I will at the end. Not yet.
Are you going through like every chain?
I
basically?
am right now. I could probably do every other, but
But it won't hurt to be thorough.
nah, it won't. It's not taking me a whole bunch of time either way, you know, just a few seconds really. Okay, I'm back to the beginning. So then you pull it tight. It's good and snug. Now I'm going to sew a few times through there just to finish that off and make sure it doesn't come undone. You just, anywhere from side to side. Your stitches are not going to show. You're using the same color yarn, even, you know, this variegated, but even if it's just a solid orange, you're not going to really see those stitches. And this is the bottom of the pumpkin. You just want to make sure your pumpkin doesn't come apart. Okay, you see that? Well, I can't get it stretched out flat, but I can.
It's okay. Yeah, you can see it.
Okay, now put the needle back to the inside, and with your fingers, just pull it up. And I'm going to use it on the other end also, but first I'm going to stuff it. I hope I brought enough stuffing. I didn't know if you had stuffing here or not, and I didn't want to bring the great big bag, so I just
Yeah, we've got more in the kit.
cram some. Oh, that's right. Okay, this piece I can just throw to the inside there. Okay. And, you know, it's what you prefer as how firm you want your pumpkin to be. It doesn't look like it could be a pumpkin at this point, does it?
Mm-hmm.
Is this close to how you do yours at the end?
Oh yes, at the end.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, I assumed it would be.
Yes.
But you probably end up with more of a rectangle, right, than a
Yes.
square?
Yes.
I meant to bring a couple of pumpkins that were already decorated in with the along with the needles. I completely spaced it. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how close I am. The acrylic has so much more give than the. Ooh, my side, I don't like that. I need to do a better job, more thorough job through there. You can see that? So I didn't do a good enough job on the side. But you know what I can do is, I'll show you in a minute, when I wrap the yarn around, I'll take it right through there so it automatically will. Okay, now I've got the yarn that I used to whip stitch the bottom together. I'm not doing a very good job.
Oh, you're fine.
I have a little, like a trash container that my friend bought for me, and they're for sewers that it is weighted. The piece that sits on the table is weighted with the pellets, and then the part that, you know, the trash part is all material. And it hangs over. And
that little hanging thing.
It is so nice. I love that. Okay. I'm just going to try to level that stuffing out a little bit. You had the finished pumpkin here, or no? Is it?
Yeah, it's upstairs.
Okay. That still doesn't look.
It's okay.
One more handful. I can't believe it. Used all that. All right. Once again, we're going to go in and out. In between the stitches. Didn't want to go through there too many pieces of yarn right in the same place. Now, the top, you want to leave yourself a small opening for your stem. And for the stems, you can get twigs, which I like actually, or cinnamon sticks that you break into pieces. I'm about out of the good pieces now. And when you pull this tight, you want to make sure that there's just enough room to get your twig or cinnamon stick or whatever you're going to use, and then knot this up. Do you know what I mean by that is, you know, tie a knot here so that I got to get it back down where it was. Pull it tight enough that you still, can you see that opening, Shelby?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want that opening there, and then you want to knot your yarn so that it doesn't slip back open or closed further than it already is. Okay. if I had left this even longer yet, I wouldn't have to add on another piece, but now we're ready to actually make the pumpkin a pumpkin.
That's the pumpkin.
Pumpkin's gonna become a pumpkin, and I'll use, this yarn will show up easier. I think I even doubled it on this one. Which, this is the tricky part. You're gonna squish that down enough to get that needle up to the top.
So you're piercing from bottom to top
From
of the
bottom to
pumpkin.
the top. Let me read this so I make sure that the terminology I'm using. You sew one end closed, you stuff the pumpkin, you sew the top of the pumpkin, but leave the opening for the stem with a long piece of yarn. Pierce the center of the pumpkin from top to bottom, or bottom to top is okay too. And I'm gonna leave that right there. And then you're going to go, let me see, I said I wanted to show you what I'll do to protect those ugly stitches that I did. I wanna make sure this doesn't pull out on me. Take your yarn right down through there where those stitches. Go back again. And you squish it down. And with your fingers, you'll be able to eventually find it.
So you're piercing that again with that
Needle.
thread.
And then when you bring it up the second time, then you're gonna squeeze your pumpkin. That's once. My pumpkin is not looking so terrific, girls. My pumpkin is one of the...
It's a Franken pumpkin.
It is a definitely Franken pumpkin. And what I do when I go for this part is I usually divide it like in half and then fourths and then eighths, whatever. So you pull it up, that's gonna be about right. And again, this is just what you prefer. But what I'm gonna do when I get down here is I'm gonna tie a knot with this piece, and then I can quit trying to worry about that slipping in on me. That's squeezing. I think this yarn seems to be like,
You also stuffed it really full.
it's not as stiff as, it's stretchier than the others that I've done this. I can't remember what brand this is, but it really does seem to be stretching quite a bit more.
I like the colors.
You can
Yeah.
see how it's kind of divided in half right now.
Yeah, now we're just gonna keep doing that. Now we're gonna divide it into fourths. We're gonna go across the other way. Finding that needle is not always easy, depending on the height.
Finding a needle in a fluff stack.
Maybe, in this, I've got to redo that. I'm very sorry.
You can't tell.
No,
Just
I'm messing up. Okay, here's my third go round. And I'm just going in as close to where I went before and get the needle in there. I'm getting tight stitches down in there now, so it doesn't want to go in through really easily. Squeezer. Is yours like this too? Is it,
No.
You're not doing it like this? I can't wait to see yours.
We could do seams, but it has such a nice texture with the ribbing.
It does. It already has. Yeah.
So it's an option for sure.
Yeah. But you, and the one showing you didn't do that way, so yeah, that's I like that a lot. And that yarn, that color, wouldn't be my pick
Right.
until you see it knit,
Right,
and it
exactly.
looks great.
It's funny because I was never a variegated yarn person. Like, I much prefer solids, but I've been finding things that I like.
Yeah, yeah. I like this one.
Yeah.
I think I know it's kind of a fallish color. I can't remember the name of it, but it's acting kind of funny. I don't know. I mean, it's just really stretchier than what I'm used to with these pumpkins. I'm having a hard time finding my needle this time. I'm glad it's not a sharp-ended needle, or I'd be in trouble. Because I'm just stabbing it. You know what? I'm going to tie it off down here and just get myself another piece of yarn, and then I don't have to worry about it. So when I want to knot it off, that's just exactly what I do. I make a knot. Bury it out over here, cut it off, and I'm good to go. Believe it or not, that will shape up into, right now, it looks like an apple. It looks like or a bell pepper. You know?
It does.
Yeah.
But I have about 20 of these at my house that Mom has made.
Yeah.
They do turn into pumpkins.
Yeah.
They do.
Don't worry, we're not just
Yeah,
lying.
if this orange one, if we had it down here, I could prove that I actually can do one. That I'm not just kidding everybody.
I think everybody's seen them because they had to pick up kits.
Yeah, most people saw everything.
So they've seen
Everything that
Yeah.
With
I've
the
done
Apothecary
today is,
bottles.
I'm saying, well, this is the way you do it, except for how I'm doing it right now. I'm going to end up break the head on this needle too.
That's right. I have plenty.
Do you
plenty.
use the plastic ones a lot?
I did.
I love those bent tip.
Just invested in some.
I love those.
You introduced me to them,
I
and
just
now
love
I use
those.
them.
Now,
Yes.
now nothing else
No.
suits. And I got a new pair of scissors recently as a gift. I get them at Christmas.
Those are gorgeous.
Aren't they gorgeous? And
Is it a stork?
it is
Yeah.
historic.
That is
From
so
Amazon,
cool.
by the way, if you like those scissors.
Oh, I love them.
Amazon.
Yes.
And I got a pair for Christmas the last couple of years. I have a butterfly and can't think what else. But
Bonita scissors looks like that too.
well,
Keep going, Bonita.
that means she's pretty darn good at this.
Yeah.
Or heck, just call an apple and be like,
Yeah.
I crocheted
Right.
an apple,
Say,
man.
You
hey,
can create a cornucopia.
Yes.
yeah, we're moving right into the November Thanksgiving
Yes.
stuff. That's right. I forgot. We do have November to go before we hit December. And here I was trying to talk everybody into making up their mind on Christmas, and I forgot there's another month in there.
I just did my coloring pages today, Shelby.
Oh, did you?
For November.
Yay. Thank you for doing that. They've gone like crazy.
I know, I love it.
I'm going to make a knot now so that I don't have to worry about it. You can see that this is kind of like, well, just whatever you feel like doing. I am following the pattern, but I love the way Shelby, wrote it down and then she edited, thank heavens, but words I couldn't seem to come up with. She says to pull the yarn gently but firmly, and here I am, yanking on it. And, so I'm creating the vertical lines. So we're now, okay, I do have 4, and I'm going, no, I only have 3. Well, that's why it looks like an apple. No wonder.
Oh, and Denise said that she loves the bent needle that you gave her at the first meeting at the museum.
Yep.
Denise, she's an employee over at the museum.
Ask her if she's the one
She
who
is.
want to make the purse.
Yes,
Yes.
and she's the one who wants help
Oh.
with crochet. Sorry, Denise, we're talking about you like you're not here. I mean, you are here. You're just not in the room with
I'm
us.
so thankful that because I've not forgotten that she wanted to make that. I have a pattern for her, and I also told her that I had lots of that material. That yarn is I don't even think of it as yarn. It's more kind of a cross between thread and yarn, but I have not forgotten her, or that, you know, I have the yarn, and if she would like me to send it to her now, I would. Or I think she needed help with the pattern, getting going on the pattern.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many months ago that was now, but I haven't forgotten. So how to make an apple turn into a pumpkin. All right, there we are. Now we have 4. I seriously don't know what it is about this yarn that it's just not behaving the way I'm used to. Maybe just need more of the loops. You get the idea, I hope.
Yes. We're basically going to wrap it 2 more times. So once she takes it in up the bottom this time.
That was only 4. This is 5.
Yeah.
Okay,
So she's
3
going to
more.
do another one. So there are at least 6. You could go up to 8 or 9. Because pumpkins don't grow those lines totally symmetrically. No. That's not.
No. We'll see how it looks after a couple more. And I don't think it's going to look any better. I have a feeling my pumpkin is not going to look much better than this. I don't understand it.
No, it's really good.
It's the pressure of being on camera.
I guess so. I guess so. I'm wondering, I made this square like right after the meeting last time. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if I made too many rows, or I should have.
It's looking good.
But it was a square.
Let's just finish it off.
Yeah, let's just finish it off and forget this whenever happened.
Now we'll have a giveaway for the Franken pumpkin.
Yeah, yeah. This pumpkin will be worth lots of money someday after I'm gone.
Actually, Mom, if you do want to donate it, FYI, everybody who's attending our class tonight, we are going to have an Escape the Library event this Friday, Saturday, and next Monday. It's a Halloween scavenger hunt on the 2nd floor, and there are prizes involved.
Oh, wow.
Perhaps our little Franken pumpkin will be a prize. We'll see. We'll see if Mom wants to donate that.
If you can, yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. This is one of the sorriest looking pumpkins I've ever seen. But, you know.
All of our creations deserve love, though.
Somebody's going to love it.
Be proud of what you make.
Yeah. I wish I had that orange one. Actually, I wanted to make a purple one really badly. I just wasn't far enough along. I tried to hurry up before I came and get a little square done. I didn't get it done. Okay, this is, I think, is that the last one?
Yeah, just make it the last
All
one.
right. And then we can, I didn't think to bring my glue gun, but I don't know that I want to waste the
glue.
Cinnamon stick.
The glue or the cinnamon stick on this little sorry pumpkin, but, you know, maybe it'll look a little better when I finish
There
it.
are lots of cute things you could do with it, too, if you felt like it was ugly at home. I mean, and first off, that doesn't look ugly. That does look like
It's
a pumpkin.
adorable.
It's a perfect pumpkin.
Yeah, it looks kind of sad.
But you could always, like, stick googly
Stick a
eyes
cinnamon
on
stick in
it,
it.
or, like, create hair for it, and, like, deliberately run with it if you think it's ugly. And just, you know, be creative. That really is part of the fun.
You
Yeah.
would make an awesome white elephant gift.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
if it were
Yes.
mine to give away, not someone else's.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, but
You
like,
could use it for, like, sticking pencils into. I don't know. Like,
hey,
you could do
that,
anything.
and you know what? You can use it to stick your crochet hooks in
Yes.
and your knitting needles.
And you'll have a constant reminder of one of your first ever projects that you ever made.
No kidding. I've only been doing this for, what, 50 years, 51 years in last May. And my golly, I sure have
This
a
is what you do after 51
cute
years.
first project.
Yay.
It is cute. It is cute.
It is. It's all right. It's not what I, you know, any of the other ones look like, but
But our audience can get the idea.
see this? I mean, how did it?
Well, considering that you started with a tube that was like a full sock, like, and then you turned it into, I mean,
But
it's fine.
That's what I started with. I don't know. And his little Frankenstein stitches, I think that just ought to be left just like it is, shouldn't I? And then his little cinnamon
And our
stick.
audience is chiming in with their
Yay!
ideas for repurposing. Like, you could turn it into a pin cushion, and you could stuff it with gravel and make a doorstop out of it. I love that, Jessica.
You know what we should do is it should be given as a prize at every meeting, and then the next meeting the prize goes passed on to someone else in the group.
We'll see. We're not gonna let this little guy go to a waste. He's gonna find a happy home somewhere.
Yeah, I could put a few more orange stitches across it, and it's not it's pretty bad. Let's just be
all right. Well,
let's just be honest. It's pretty bad.
So that's how you're gonna end your pumpkin project at home. And I know we've kept people pretty long tonight, so we'll try to wrap up quickly. I guess if you have questions, now is the time to throw them down in the chat box. And then if you don't have questions, that's cool. You're going to be able to rewatch this video later if you need to see certain steps happen again. And on Friday, the 30th, we will be posting a video with Megan finishing up the knitting pumpkins. So you'll actually be putting your pumpkins together on Friday with that video.
Are you going to ask them what they would like to do next time?
Do you want to ask them right now? Because they can hear your voice.
I would like to know if you're interested and you'll make squares, and not that you have to, we'll still have the class, but if you have some squares and or rectangles made, then we can do some things with them. And would you like to do a trash bag holder? That you slip in the Kroger bags and things, you stuff them in and pull them out the bottom. Pot holders, snowman. That would be.
Are you wanting answers right now, or are these are options you're going to give people next time?
If they'll chime in right now, that'll help a lot.
Okay, there's a little bit of a lag, but okay. So if you want to vote for a future project, what your options so far were: a trash bag,
pot
holders,
snowmen,
like stuffed snowmen, I'm assuming.
Ask them if they'd like to do scarves
and scarves. Okay, but we're going to stop at those 4 options. And just if you want to throw out a vote in the chat, you can. And if you think it all sounds wonderful and you want us to choose, just wait for us to choose and we'll do it.
We'll do it. Whether you like it or not.
But anyway, as we're waiting for anyone to share any input they have, we just wanted to say thanks again for coming tonight. I know it's a little weird for us to not have our faces all showing, but it was actually really, really fun to get everybody's comments in the chat during this session. So next month we'll have even more people. It'll run even more smoothly. We won't be making Franken pumpkins.
I'm going to come back with a better looking pumpkin because now I'm determined that I'm going to use this yarn and
maybe we'll do spring pumpkins of some kind.
Figure out why this went wrong.
You did get 1 vote for snowman from Denise. Okay. And everyone, you can continue commenting on this video even after we've ended. Maybe that's what we'll do, is after we end the session, even if you haven't voted, you can come back to this and vote or throw ideas out. And then Cheryl and Megan will be looking at everything and planning your project for November. But we did get Denise's vote for snowmen, so if you don't want snowmen, you better get your votes in. Oh, and Priscilla Zachary said a scarf would be useful. I agree, I love scarves.
I like scarves too.
I do too.
Go wrong with
they can give them for Christmas gifts if we start that.
But all of the things can be given
month.
as gifts.
Yep.
All right, guys, well, we're going to get you out of here. It's 8 p.m. You've been such a wonderful troop of teammates for YarnWorks, and feel free, like we said, leave comments, questions here on this post, or you can direct message us, or you can email us, or you can call us, or you can stop by the desk, whatever you want to do. We want to see your faces. And keep an eye out for our announcement about November YarnWorks. So with that, I think we're going to call it a night. Thanks again for attending. Hope you guys make some awesome stuff, and we will see you in November.
Friday.
No, and sorry, we will see you Friday, and then we'll see you in November, but we'll see you Friday. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.